Man, I am so glad YouTube is still around, because where would a baldo like me find work with a mug like this, huh? There's a lot of popular websites that we use every day, things like Instagram and Facebook, and because we use them all the time, we don't ever really think of the world without them, or for that matter, what life was like before them. But things can change at any time, and just like the websites that we use every day, the websites on this list were once super popular and one day just completely died. Here are 10 famous websites that died. Number 10 is Alta Vista. Before Google became everyone's go-to search engine, Alta Vista was extremely popular. Launched in 1995, Alta Vista allowed web users to find content quickly and reliably. It had a whole index of websites and, well, you know what a search engine is. But what put Alta Vista ahead of other search engines was that it had an advanced web crawler. Not like Spider-Man, it's a techie term. Stay with me, people! A web crawler is a bot which trawls the internet looking for websites so that when users Google Alta Vista, a search term, the information about those websites is ready at hand. In 2003, however, Alta Vista started to wane and Google's domination was assured, which is really good because no one would ever say, oh, I just Alta Vista'd that. Yahoo purchased Alta Vista but threw out the old web search engine and just used their own, keeping the brand. And as you can imagine, since it's on this list, that wasn't exactly successful, and in 2013, Alta Vista was shut down for good. Number 9 is Friends Reunited. Back in 1999, the idea of an online social network was revolutionary. But long before titans like Twitter and Facebook came along, a little UK-based website tried out that concept. It was called Friends Reunited, and it allowed users to join networks based on what school they attended. This scratched the little nostalgic itch for those wanting to see what their old buddies were up to. While a previous US website called Classmate.com had ran a similar service, Friends Reunited took it to a whole nother level. Within just a couple years, they had nearly 3 million users. In 2005, the company was bought for $208 million. Who spent that money on this piece of crap? But between 2007 and 2008, it lost 47% of its user base. Coincidentally, that was the same time that Facebook had grown its UK-based traffic by almost 2,400%. To be honest, I don't really blame them for not seeing Facebook as a threat because it's called Facebook. That's like being afraid of a company called Leg Hat. Number 8 is Yahoo Auctions. Yahoo Auctions was set up 3 years after eBay in 1998 to challenge the king of auction sites. And just like eBay, Yahoo Auctions allowed users to list items that they wanted to sell. At that time, Yahoo was a company in ascendancy and one of the biggest names online. But eBay already had a head start, and it also provided a more reliable and safe way to buy items due to its rating system. But Yahoo shut down most of the service in America and other countries by 2007. But believe it or not, users were actually really disappointed because the website had offered no fee listings, very much unlike eBay at the time. But it gets even weirder because in a bizarre move, when Yahoo Auctions shut down its UK and Ireland service, it actually endorsed its main rival. Yahoo stated that eBay was its preferred service and that users looking for something similar to Yahoo Auctions should actually use it. Sounds like a payoff. Oh, but that's none of my business. Number 7 is Nupedia. Nupedia was an online encyclopedia which allowed users to search a variety of topics. How to restore hair. Lasting just 4 short years between 1999 and 2003, Nupedia had a strict peer review process unlike Wikipedia. Volunteer contributors would write articles on the chosen topics, but they wouldn't go live immediately. They would have to be reviewed by a panel of experts first. The idea was that this would ensure a level of quality similar to published journals. Unfortunately, only 21 articles ever passed the peer review process in the first year. Now let's compare that to Wikipedia, who published 10 times that number in its first month alone. So yeah, you can see why it became popular and Nupedia didn't. Still, it did pave the way for Wikipedia, so let's all raise a glass to the memory of Nupedia. Unless you have an alcohol problem, in which case that would be a bad idea. Number 6 is VidMe. YouTube popularized video sharing, and though several websites have tried to emulate its success, most have failed. Well, VidMe was one of those most recent attempts to do this, as YouTube reduced creators' ability to make money from ads due to the unbelievable number of controversies on the site. VidMe, founded in 2014, stepped in and offered creators another avenue to make money from their videos. This created an influx of content, but unfortunately, the website was shut down on December 1st, 2017. This was because the cost of hosting millions of user-generated videos could not be paid for through their advertising or subscription model. But despite closing down, VidMe was widely praised for at least trying to provide another video hosting platform, and video creators continue to look for other ways to expand their revenue. Unlike me, everything's just fine. Ad revenue's fine. I'm not worried at all. Number 5 is Bebo. Bebo was launched in 2005 and was a tremendously successful social media platform for a number of years. The website was popular in several regions and registered over 10 million users in the UK alone. As its popularity soared, Bebo attracted big-name companies and was bought for $850 million in 2008. What separated Bebo from its competition was that its social media profiles were completely modular and customizable. Unlike pretty much every social media site today, Bebo profiles could look completely unique. Unfortunately, the juggernaut that is Facebook, which killed off a number of websites on this list, took Bebo to the ground for the 3 count. But the brand has actually continued, and its founders have tried to relaunch the brand multiple times. Don't worry, little Bebo, you'll get there one day, little buddy. Number 4 is Delicious. Like many of the websites on this list, Delicious was innovative and forward-thinking, but just couldn't stay ahead of the pack forever. Much like StumbleUpon and Pinboard, which came along after it, Delicious popularized the idea of social bookmarking. This allowed users to tag and organize online content in a fun and accessible way. When it was released in 2007, Delicious took off in a big way. But with the advent of cloud storage and people being able to save their bookmarks across devices and their browsers, Delicious became kind of pointless. It ended up being acquired in 2017 by the competitor Pinboard, which discontinued the service once and for all so that it could promote its own website to the Delicious user base. Delicious user base. That should have been our tagline. Our users are delicious! Number 3 is Geocities. Launched in 1994 and originally called Beverly Hills Internet, Geocities became the 3rd most popular website in the world in '99. It allowed users to create their own website, which Geocities would host, and place in a browsable directory of a relevant topic. BigBootyGoats.com, oh yeah, let's do it. For example, if you made a website about the entertainment industry, it would be placed in the Hollywood city, allowing people interested in your chosen topic to find your content. Well, times change, and a number of competing websites devised more accessible and professional ways to build a website. Geocities finally shut down the United States server in October of 2009. And with that, believe it or not, 38 million user-built websites disappeared. Rest in peace, big booty goats. Number 2 is Gawker. Founded by Nick Denton and Elizabeth Spires, Gawker was a blog which reported on the lives of celebrities. Initially, it covered news in the Manhattan area of New York, but soon expanded its reach and eventually had over 23 million visitors every month. And that was as recent as 2015. So you might be saying, but man, what happened? Well, a series of problems soon sank this once popular website. There was a number of allegations of copyright abuse and quoting sources that were supposed to be off the record. But that wasn't even the worst part. The killer blow was actually landed by Hulk Hogan. And no, this is not a joke. He sued Gawker for publicizing video footage of the Hulkster having sex. Oh yeah, but to give you the pile driver, brother, what you gonna do? He was awarded $140 million in damages, and on June 10th of 2016, as a result of this, Gawker had to announce bankruptcy. And number 1 is MySpace. Who remembers MySpace? This is Good memories. Perhaps not quite dead as of 2018, but MySpace has been on life support for a long time. We really should just pull the plug and put it out of its misery. Well, even if the website isn't dead, the original intention of it is now lying 6 feet under. MySpace was a social networking site which was a precursor to Facebook. You could post your profile, and MySpace even provided your first friend request, Tom. Tom was the co-founder of the site and obviously very lonely. Between 2004 and 2010, it was easily the largest social networking site in the world. But by the time 2008 came along, MySpace's sun was beginning to set. Yeah, as you would imagine, that pesky Facebook came along and revolutionized social media forever. MySpace seemed really outdated by comparison. Since then, MySpace has moved towards being a platform for artists and musicians to build a following and still amasses 50 million visits a month. But let's be honest, it's on its way out. Plus, you can't friend Tom anymore. I miss Tom. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it in the future, subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications for my new uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye now.